Okay, let's just move on. Let's keep going on because this is just going to be my little pettiness. Okay, this is your divorce, part of your divorce papers, where it's, let me repeat it, where the parties married on November 4th, 2004, and the parties separated on or around August of 2006. Well, I had to put this on here because I'm petty, because you repeatedly lie about how long y'all were together. You try to eliminate half the people you were with in between the time that y'all separated till your divorce. You heard me say in a video that how my sisters, they were good and they stayed home until they married and so forth. You took that. You've been kind of trying to model yourself after that, but like you say, you left home when you got married, and that's all garbage. But this was just to prove you a lie once again. You lie about everything, so it's not that hard for me to prove what I can. I mean, I have to, I prove what I can, and this was the way to prove it. Was I shaming you? For heaven's sakes, no. I could care less how many times you get married. That's between you and whoever you're married. Just as, I don't shame anyone for being married more than once. I can't. I've enjoyed being married a few times. It's not shameful to me. And, I don't care whose fault. I mean, it don't matter to me either way. I know you're spoiled. That might have been a little problem for him. That it might have been hard for him to keep up with, what you wanted. That's just what I'm thinking. But I don't know. I wasn't with you. I you're so funny. And then you went into this whole, because you threatened, well, I'll just get your divorce papers. Well, and I told you go ahead because they would do nothing but prove you lied again because you made so many horrible stories up about me just getting married for money and kids and such. Well, you know what? My papers would truly prove that without a doubt. No, I did not marry anybody for money or child support or any other reason. You lied about that. And that would be easy enough to prove, and I always knew it would be if I wanted to become petty, which I do now. I do now. I'm enjoying it very much. So you just took that off into another world, and that was okay. I really didn't mind. I mean, it kept you busy today, and that's something that was nice. And while you were busy, I slept till about, I don't know, pretty late, and then I cooked dinner and for my husband, my current husband, who's the same husband. You didn't run him off. And all I wanted to share something with you real quick. There is absolutely nothing that you could ever say or do to just make any husband of mine, even the worst one, to this one, leave me. Because they're smart enough to know who you are and what you are. Doesn't they can't believe other people actually believe anything that comes out of your mouth. And I don't, that's the difference between, you think that you throw this stuff out there and it's just going to make, you say little slide remarks and you think that people just going to be so up in an uproar, that, oh Lord, she's been married more than once. And why'd you call me a bed hopping whore? No, I wasn't a bed hopping whore. Now, I had my favors, but no. It's just your little slide remarks. But that, I promise you, Mary, there's nothing you could say that would convince them to just take your word and run on. And I'm gonna tell you something. My marriage is over 30-something years, and we have went through quite a bit together. We have been through everything together, actually. And you know what? We're still here. And the reason why we got through things is because there's, a lot of people say, oh, I love you. And I've said it before myself. I've been married a few times. You get up and you stand and you say, till death do us part, and through sickness and health, and rich or poor. But you know what? Most people don't mean it, and I didn't mean it a few times. Not really. I didn't understand what that meant. You know what it means? It means a lot of forgiving, a lot of moving on. I've come to the conclusion, and I tell my children this all the time, my grown children that you seem to forget. If you have, like if one of them has an issue with their spouse thinking something It's like, okay, well, let me ask you one question before you make any more, before you get any more upset about this. Do you know for a fact that this has happened? They'll say no. They just got a feeling or, something. Are you ready to pack your things right now and walk away and never come back? Because you need to ask yourself, are you truly, truly finished, done, gonna walk out that door if you're right? Or are you gonna be, I mean, you gotta make a decision what you want. And without concrete proof, you're just gonna walk out and give up on something that could be forever. So you need to think about it before you go pushing the subject too hard. If it's really going, if something bad's going on, I promise you, you're gonna find out, and you can either make a decision at that time to leave or stay. But you know what? People who are really truly committed to each other, they work, they get on through it, man. They might have hard times and they might not be happy about it. And there might be a whole lot of one or the other has to work through to gain trust again. But you can't, there's some marriages, there's nothing that someone like you could ever say or do to separate them. So please, if you were threatening, that's really not one that would even be a thought. Actually, everything you try to threaten me with isn't anything that I would concern myself with. You know, one day you'd love to point out, oh gosh, she just took prescription medication and just messed up her brain, and her kids need to get her some help. You know, I'm not like you. I don't need quite as much help as you think you do. I've struggled through my struggles, and I struggled through them alone, and I had pride. I got pride now. You're the one that just brought all the shame. There's been no shame. I'm not ashamed of anything. Now, I was just raised, you just don't air things out like that. It's personal, it's private. But nothing with you is private. You've spewed out. And every time you bring up something with my name included, regardless, and if you're lying, I'm telling you, I'm past that point. I'm petty now. And it's going to get even more, it's going to get more petty here shortly. So it's best you not watch. Just don't watch, because I still got a lot to catch up to show how petty you really are. So let me go ahead and close this one out, because I think I might have one more in me before the night's over. When you're not watching, so, but I'm just doing it for documentation,